There are some journalists who are said to have a nose for news. For almost half a century, Broadcast Pioneers member Bob Kravitz has had an eye for news. A consummate photojournalist, Kravitz began his broadcast career using his ears, as he was hired as a sound technician by WFIL-TV in Philadelphia, now WPVI-TV Action News. He earnestly studied video editing and photography with several of the best camera people in Philadelphia. It was at the ripe old age of 21 that Kravitz entered the ranks of photojournalists, becoming the youngest shooter on the Philadelphia streets. Over the years, he worked for every news organization in the city. Kravitz has long had a diverse background, beginning his career with the Evening and Sunday Bulletin while he was a student at Olney High School. His musicianship was mastered playing the violin at the age of 4. His love of singing and acting led to his appearing on the stages of the Academy of Music, Society Hill Playhouse, the Miriam Theater, the Academy of Vocal Arts, the Cheltenham Playhouse, and the Schubert Theater. He has starred in productions of Finian's Rainbow, West Side Story, and The Music Man. Tevye, in Fiddler on the Roof, was his signature role. Bob also sings and loves opera. He's performed in productions of La Traviata, Madame Butterfly, and Carmen. In 1972, Bob was blessed when he and Susan Block were married. He still refers to her today as his first wife. His latest endeavor is working with the Cancer Hope Network, helping people around the world who are coping with bladder and/or prostate cancer. 6 years ago, Bob underwent surgery for these two conditions and understands only too well that people need help and support when dealing with the aftermath. He says, people need to know that life goes on, and these conditions must not limit or define you. Please welcome Bob Kravitz into the Broadcast Pioneers Hall of Fame.
Hi, everyone. Well, I am very honored to be the first photojournalist to be accepted into the Broadcast Pioneers Hall of Fame. Let me begin by saying that's not my award. It's Susan's award. And David, absolutely. I mean, I had to leave the doorways, parties, I had to leave other things because of breaking news. The one story I'll tell you about Susan, 3 Mile Island. She knew about it, and they asked me to go. I ended up there for 2 weeks. But Susan's at the door, "You're not going, you're not going." I lifted her up, and I left. Stayed there for 2 weeks. No clothes. One of our assistant news directors wouldn't allow me to buy clothes because it wasn't on the budget. But let me tell you that Channel 6 was my mother lode. They taught me everything. I got my job, believe it or not, at Temple University. Now, hold on. If you look in the program, you'll see next to my bio a picture of a camera and where it's located. Frank Goldstein and I were at the same time in the lavatory at Temple. And at one time when you had to get a job, he had to find a replacement at Channel 6. It was 1967, 68. So he asked if I wanted to work there. So Frank got me hired. I walked in, the interview went, "Do you want to work here?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Okay." Harold Hodgman, the cameraman, said, "You're hired." And that's how I got hired at Channel 6. But it became a whole load of the most wonderful job I ever had. Now, I've left Channel 6 due to a couple of a big accident and a couple of operations, and I ended up at the present working for Channel 10. I don't even know if the news director knew that. I was one of the Channel 10 helicopter photographers as a replacement. I just retired, and you can call it about 47 years of being in the news. I just retired from everything. I want to thank Channel 6, because they were my mother lode. I want to thank Channel 10 and Channel 3 and Channel 29, who used me in the chopper. My family is here. Thank you for being my family. My sister-in-law and brother-in-law are here. Thank you for being my sister-in-law and brother here. And my wife, who deserves that award, is here, and Frank and his wife are here. And let me tell you, My first partner, Doreen McAlpin, as a sound person when I became a cameraman, she came in from Washington, and she's a Washington lawyer. And my best man at my wedding is here. And my other sister, besides Jackie Kravitz, my other sister here is Rita. Everybody's here that I love and I worship. I want to thank you all for being here. And the cameraman, where is Pete? Pete, are you still here? There's a story about Pete and I. Pete and I were one of the few cameramen that were allowed to listen to the scanner, the police scanner. And my last 5 or 6 years, my headquarters was my apartment house in Center City. I had the right to listen to the scanner, and if I thought it was a good story that would be a breaking story, and I wasn't on a story, I had the right to travel to there. And Pete and I used to, then the phones came in. Pete and I used to text, guess where I'm at? And that's how we got to be good, close relationed, working buddies, besides being at the same station. Thank you all for letting me be a part of all this. And I hope I opened up the avenue for all of us photographers, Gary, hi, and everybody. So thank you, thank you, thank you.